Good evening, everyone. It has been quite a while since I have been on here by myself. So um, I hope everybody's had a good day. I hope everybody's been doing well. So as you can see, if I can move the right way here. So in the past, we have talked about this experiment that I kind of thought of one time, and I came up with Dennis, or I talked with Dennis about it. And I talked with Dan and Tammy, and Megan's been involved, and I had some conversations with Jeff about it. Um, about so many cases have so many situations where people go in the water and they go missing. So even though this is not a 100% scientific experiment, you know, I thought, what if we could do some type of GPS tracker and basically get some type of floatable, bag device, something that we could put in the water and basically track something. We could track, where it's at from start to end. We could track, the miles per hour that it was going through the water. Um, you know, there's so many different variables that this could basically provide us with some information. Is it 100% an exact replica of what happens when someone goes in the water? Absolutely not. And by all means, we're not trying to come off that this is what this is and this is scientific. This is basically us just trying to come up with some information for, um, you know, how fast is current in the water? How far could it take somebody that was floating? Um, you know, Granted, we're not trying to float a car. We're not trying to float the average size of a human. We are just trying to get some basic information on what could possibly happen. Hello, Mac. I'm pretty sure that's Dennis is on here too in the background somewhere. So, so this is what I purchased, and there it is. So it is the TRACKi, and this is a rechargeable unit. And as you can see, it's a decent size. Let me hold up if you can see. Well, I guess it's too many things are going to blur out here. So it's probably 3.5 inches by two and a half, well, maybe 4 inches by 2.5 inches. Um, it's a decent size, and I think this is showing up. So on the top, it has the buttons to turn it on, and on the bottom is the charging port. So they advertise this unit here that it will last between 2 and 7 months. So I received this unit on Friday night, and of course, I charged it up, and I charged it all night. And then I went on to the TRACKi website, and I had to basically have a subscription. Um, it works off of 4G, 5G cellular service. It is $19.99 a month, and the different settings go by basically how many times it pings, and there's a few other little options. Um, but for this unit, it was $19.99 a month. So as I have, had the subscription and I linked the unit up, I have basically had it on, and I had it on to where it was pinging every 30 minutes. And it's been on since oh geez, I can't remember if I did this subscription Friday night or maybe it was Saturday. But anyways, it's been on and it's been working, and I've been taking it with me basically since Saturday every day. Um, and it's pretty cool. It has I think it said 16, which this is the only downside of it is its accuracy is within 16 to 65 feet. So the accuracy side of it is actually, I mean, it's decent, but it's not. I thought it would be better. And so I've experimented with it, and it gives you these options to where you can make it ping every minute, every 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 5 hours, so on, so forth. There's all kinds of options, and it will ping off of GPS, satellite signal, and Wi-Fi. So it has quite a bit options to basically look at all the information, and you can see the giant map view. And forgive me, I am not StreamYard savvy with adding pictures. I don't know how to really do that. I guess I need to have some one-on-one with Dennis, and he can show me, because Dennis is a pro at adding pictures, and all I can do is add the main picture for the advertisement of the show and then the background. That's all I can do, guys. So sorry. But we will do another episode, and I will be taking screenshots so you all can see this and see how it works. And the awesome thing is I can share the link, and Dennis can share it, and we can share the link all over, and you guys can actually take the link and go look at where the unit's at. And that's what I wanted. I wanted this to be an interaction, with everybody. And I talked with Dennis about it, and I stressed that I was really wanting to find one that we could share with you all, the audience, because I want you to be a part of it. And I told Dennis that I think it's really important that the audience is a part of this, and they can see where our little tracker is at. So, and this unit here, I ended up getting this one off Amazon, and it was $19.99. So it was $19.99, and then the monthly subscription is $19.99. And this is waterproof. And on the back of it, it comes with a couple different plates, and one of them has a big giant magnet, so you can stick it on a vehicle. And I guess, I've been dealing with this for months and months, and I've been trying to find one that had a decent battery life. And because I didn't want to buy one that was only going to last 2 days. And so far, I haven't checked it tonight, but it's been at 88% for a couple days, and I have it pinging every minute now. So every 1 minute, it's sending a ping and a location drop. And so when I was talking about the accuracy, like if you're going down the highway, this thing will show you might be one road over from the highway, like a frontage road. And then it'll kind of zig back and forth across. Maybe with time, as I figure out all the settings and everything, I can get it tuned in a little better. Because I thought if I had it on a 1 minute ping, it would basically track you straight down the highway. And so far, it's not doing that quite yet. Because one of the things is putting it in the water and letting it go down the river. I wanted it to ping every minute to follow it through the river, and not to the point where all of a sudden it's a half a mile off in someone's field, and then it's clear across on the other side of this field. So I definitely do not want to get those kind of results. It's just this experiment. I think it's going to lead to some pretty neat info that statistically it's something that could help us. Um, and like I said, it's 100% not an exact science by any means. You know, um, before we talked about, well, let's do something that resembles something of a human and try to get something that has some weight behind it. And then it's like, well, no, we don't want to cause panic thinking that people driving on the highway or something think that there's somebody in the water. I don't want that to happen. So it took quite a bit, but this is what I ended up purchasing. And this is a watertight bag. And I'm sorry, it's not coming up like I thought it would. So basically, you can put contents in this bag, and then you get air in it, and then you fold it and fold it up, and it will float. So basically, with this bag, I've asked Dennis if Megan can put the Muddy Waters logo on this and put property of, I know it might sound silly, but something that says research, something. And basically I went with an orange one because, in all honesty, we do want somebody to see it. We want somebody to see this thing floating and think, whoa, what is that? That's someone's bag. It's floating. Okay, well, what if it was a human, unfortunately, that something happened and they were in the water? So inside of this, we're going to put the tracker, and we are going to put a document in there. And the document's basically going to state who we are, what we're trying to accomplish, and there is a reward. If you do find this and you do snatch it, you see it washed up, like I said, it's only going to last between 2 and 7 months on a charge. If we can make it a couple months, and like I said, I'm still going to be experimenting, probably another week with it, because I really want to see on the settings where it pings how long the battery is draining, how long it's going to last. Because if it pings less and the battery will last longer, then that's great. Because let's be honest, this thing could go down a mile down the river and get hung up. It could go a state away. I mean, it could end up hundreds and hundreds of miles away. We have no idea. And this is what the part of this experiment is, because, there's been so many cases that we have looked at information. We have gone over information. We have watched other search teams do videos, and they talk about, people that's been missing, and supposedly they could have gone, hundreds and hundreds of miles down the river. They could have been in a car and gone hundreds and hundreds of miles down the river. Where's the experiments? Where is someone trying to recreate anything like this just to try and see what kind of information could be obtained from trying to recreate something? But once again, this is not a 100% science by any means. So yeah, we're going to get this. Probably going to do another week of experimenting with the settings on the unit, and basically just trying to see, what this thing will actually do, how long the battery will last. I even thought about, putting a battery bank hooked up to it, with the charger cord to it, and letting it charge the unit till the battery bank runs dry. And I know everybody's seen those chargeable battery banks that look like your cell phone. Wondering if that could just get a few more days out of it. I don't know. And what's crazy is it says in the information when I went through all this that if this thing actually gets lost and you can't find it, they'll send you another one. So hey, but hey, I mean, 19.99 for this. This bag, which I think you guys can see it in front of me. This bag was like $15. And I was really trying to find something besides like a boat buoy to hook this to because I wanted it to stay dry, even though it's waterproof, but I wanted it to stay dry. I wanted it to look like something that somebody would want to grab, because if I seen somebody floating down the river, of course, your first response would be to call 911, pull off the road, try to do something, you would try to do something. So, I'm hoping that when we get this thing all done up and we might even do some mock-ups and put the unit inside the bag, roll it up, get the air in the bag, and throw it in the bathtub and just make sure that it will stay afloat and doesn't lose the air. Before we send this thing on the way, because I really don't want to put it in the water and 10 minutes later it's not moving and we can tell that it just sank to the bottom of the river. So I'm hoping that maybe probably not this weekend, but next week we will probably, for this first one, and I want to do multiple ones. I want to go to some different locations. We have some different cases that we've talked about stuff, even different times of the year. One of the other cases that, I have a lot of want to find out information, and I've talked with Dennis, is Jeremy Coots' case out of Atchison, Kansas. The little boy that supposedly, from everything, it looks like he went out on the ice and fell through on the river or got stuck between the ice, and he's been gone ever since. I would like to be able to take one of these, if the conditions were right and there was ice, to basically get one of these. And I know this sounds silly, but try to get one that is somewhat the same color as the clothes that he had on, and to throw it out on the ice. And then, an hour or two later, get a drone in the air, flying it, supposedly I think there was, and Dennis might be able to chime in on this, but I'm pretty sure there was helicopters or planes that were flying up and down the river, and try to see if, if and there's no way we're going to make the conditions identically the same, but just to see if we could see something on the ice. There's so many ways to look at it and think, well, what if we did this, or what if we did that, or, how could we recreate this, and, so on and so forth. So, but hopefully, we do a little bit more experimenting. I've been sending the link to everybody in the group so they can, kind of watch my daily travels with this and see what it's doing. But if Megan can get our logos made and we can come up with a letter to put in here, and I'm thinking $100 reward for the piece, if somebody finds this thing, and if they find it 10 years from now, I don't care, sooner or later, if we can reacquire it, and someone finds it, and if they find it 10 miles, down the river, 2 miles down the river, 1,000 miles all the way out to the ocean. I mean, if someone finds it and reaches out to us, via email, telephone, Um, I would love to give them a reward for them finding it, and just seeing where this experiment leads us. Um, because I mean, it's just knowledge. It's knowledge and information. So I really hope that we can learn something from it. And like I said, we're going to post the link, and it's just a link to see where it's at that moment. Because like I told Dennis, I didn't want anybody who had bad intentions to get in there and mess with something. But as of right now, it looks like if we share the link to where it's at, you can just see the link where it's at. So like if you hop on your computer at 8 o'clock in the morning and you go see where it's at, then you're like, oh, this is where it's at. And then, at lunchtime you check and you see that it's traveled 5 miles or 2 miles or 20 miles. I would think it would be pretty fascinating information, to be able to, you're seeing it just like we're seeing it and where it's going. So, but and it was very important that I wanted, the audience to be a part of this with us and to, see what's happening. I apologize, to Dennis and the rest of the group and to everyone, because this was my little mental brainchild idea while I was working one day, and I was just sitting there thinking, how can we get some more information? Because there's really not any information out there to look at when it comes to this. So, and I'm sure, as most of you who, I turned 51 this past week. Well, actually last week, but, and I remember being in elementary school and we did the balloons and we tied the notes on them and we wrote our name and our address and the school, the elementary school. And we all went out, at recess, and we all sent them off. And I remember some kids actually got some kind of response, and the majority of us never did. And, in kind of a way, this is a similar situation. So, and when I came up with this idea, I was really thinking about using the Apple AirTags, because I have Apple AirTags on my equipment and on my trailers. And they only work if there's an Apple iPhone around them to ping off of through Bluetooth. If not, they're just silent. They're if I had a machine sitting out in the middle of a hayfield, it would show that it's always there unless somebody with an iPhone drove up near it to a certain distance, and then it would ping off of it, if they had their Bluetooth. I think it's Bluetooth, and then it would alert you that this is where it's at. And I just didn't think that was going to be a good choice for us. And there's, on Amazon and on eBay, there's so many of these out there. It's just a lot of them only will last a day or two. And then you have to charge them. You have to put new batteries in them. So, I was just really trying to find something that would last for some period, length of time. So, but that's it. I just wanted to hop on here and give you guys a short, quick little update on this. I know we've talked about it many a times, and, it's drug out. I've been super busy. We've all been busy, working on stuff, and, but yeah, it's happening. So you guys seen it firsthand, the first one. I do have it. We have the bag. And think we're going to go up near where Dennis lives. Basically where and if you guys are familiar with Leavenworth, which, some people are, a lot of our audience is not, but, the city of Leavenworth in Leavenworth, Kansas, Leavenworth County, there is a camping boat area where you can put your boats in and camping, and it's a blue bridge, and it's where the bridge crosses over from the north side of Leavenworth, where it crosses over into Platte County over in Missouri. So underneath that bridge, there is some areas where I think this will be a prime example, well, a good place, not a prime example, a good place for us to send this first one off. And we will 100% go live with everybody. We will show it live going into the water, and then, of course, we're going to share the link to go look at it. And I think it's going to be a great learning experience, for all of us. I hope it doesn't go a mile down the road and that's it. I mean, I hope it goes some distance so we can, watch it and document it. So that's it for right now. I hope everybody's, doing well. And if you can find it in your heart, please give us a like, a thumbs up, subscribe. And like Dennis has been talking about, firsthand, if you don't subscribe, if you don't like, if you don't subscribe, sooner or later, YouTube is kicking you off of our channel. I've had it happen to me because I follow like 100 channels, and there's channels where I would watch stuff, every day, every couple days, and then I wouldn't watch anything for a week, and it's totally gone off of my subscription, list. So, like I said, but if you can find it in your heart, please give us a like, a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Dennis does, the whole team. That's all I can ask. So it was good being on here. It's been a while since I've been on here by myself. It's been a while since we've been on as a group, but we've been so busy, and I know Dennis has been kind of carrying the weight. So I apologize to Dennis for taking the brunt of doing videos by himself. So everybody, I hope you guys have a good day tomorrow, and we will catch you on the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.